Jumping Flash sucks, Slender is fucked, Super Metroid is a bore, Jack 2's too hard, slides a blowhard, Resident Evil please no more, Devil May Cry.
This isn't fucking
fuck
working.
this shit. I'm trying. What's going on here?
I'm trying to follow you.
I'm trying to follow you.
What the fuck? Who's even doing what around
I don't
here?
know what we're doing. This
I don't know what.
We didn't even get the fucking intro right. What the fuck?
We can't sing.
God damn it!
You guys can't sing.
What?
I
We can't
can't
sing. Have you heard yourself? You sound like fucking crap.
It's making you uncomfortable if you heard your voice.
That's fucking.
God damn
Well, we
it.
can mean you both agree that
Okay.
Speedy sucks.
Yes, I
Okay,
do
yeah.
suck at this.
So yeah, fuck you.
Alright,
First of all,
this
why the
isn't
hell does
working.
Giant Dick Horse have to do anything with fucking Mario?
Go to hell, bro.
Wrong. I've been saying they suck.
Yeah, seriously, bro. What the fuck are you talking
You
about?
just can't appreciate it because you didn't write it.
Yeah, seriously. And
You
look
didn't
at
write it
that.
either.
Gee, which one's Jesus
What?
Christ?
I helped write you. Help me write this. At the time. So that's why the joke if you have memes came out.
Guess what I found out last night? Well, I do have Goblet of Fire on DVD, and I've still never watched that film.
It was a good film.
David Tennant is in it.
I didn't even realize I had the fucking film. I have Order of the Phoenix too. So I have
Good movie.
yeah. So I have 3, 4, 5, and 7, and then I have 1 and 2. I think on VHS somewhere. But a fat lot of good that does me.
So you
Half-Blood
have 1,
Prince.
2, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
So I don't have 6 and 8. But truth be told, I'm really fucking glad I don't own 6. I may have to. I can't remember if Kidder has it, because if she does, I might have to either borrow it, or if she doesn't, I might have to get it myself. But if I get it myself, when I'm done with the review, I'm fucking breaking it.
You're gonna read the whole Harry Potter series?
Yes.
All of them?
All 7. I'm not gonna rip them, just gonna review
Oh yeah,
them.
you're gonna review all 7.
Broken
really.
Shot.
Well, all
8.
8, but
Yeah. I feel like if I'm going to review some of them, I can't just review the bad ones. I have to take a look at what's good in them, and that involves also looking at the ones that are actually good, aka the first 2.
I didn't like the second one.
Really?
I thought the second one was dull. Very, very dull. I like the third one. I think the third one's the best. The third one's my favorite.
I don't really remember that one, but it was I think it was pretty good, but I don't know, it just...
Mainly because I think the introduction of series plot was very well done.
Yeah, part of the reason I didn't like it was because it was the first film with the new Dumbledore, and that's kind of what marked the shift from it going from relatively lighthearted into darker. And I know it was also darker in the books, but not quite to the same extent.
No,
as
it got.
was in the movies.
I think the movies went a little too faster with darkness. But after
3 was
after
dark.
series
2
plot
was
died,
dark for that.
And therefore, they kind of went over
But you gotta
the...
remember, after series plot died, it got. I mean, that this
Oh, yeah,
series, it
yeah.
instantly got dark.
No doubt. I just really think that it was a bit too dark in the films too early, and a big part of the problem was... Honestly, I think it was Dumbledore. Because he's not playing Dumbledore. He's playing Gandalf playing Dumbledore.
Wait,
It's like...
I don't think the actors are the same, are they?
No.
The same. Okay, good.
No, but they're trying to play Gandalf playing them.
Because the point with...
Trying to imitate Ian McKellen, you just don't do that.
No, it's like he's too serious to be Dumbledore, I think. It's like,
Yeah.
Dumbledore is supposed to be a goofball who you know is serious, but it only shows in some moments.
Yeah,
and even
like,
when, when
he's at his most serious in Half-Blood Prince, right? But
Yeah,
then he still cracks jokes.
Yeah.
Mainly because he knew he was gonna die. I mean, you can make the argument that he was a jokester in the movies too, but I think his jokes hit less and they're more awkward.
It's because like with Dumbledore, you're supposed to be genuinely wondering if he's brilliant or if he's just
Crazy.
In the movies, you know he's brilliant.
And any jokes that he makes, it just comes across as his actor trying to be a troll. It's less charming and it's more just kind of dickish.
I always thought his jokes, I can see they're meant to be funny, but they always seem to be kind of bland.
It's because the delivery is bland. He's trying to be a serious Dumbledore, and let's face facts, that's not what Dumbledore is. I mean, he can be, but he's not on the whole a serious person.
Oh, yeah.
On the whole, drawing a circle in the air.
On the whole.
What is this?
It's a hole.
I don't
Wait.
know. I think I liked him as a Dumbledore when he got serious, when he had to be serious, he knew the part was serious, he did a good job being serious. But then
He did a good job being serious, Black.
Why so serious, son?
But when it came to like mystery behind Dumbledore, he did not hit mystery very well.
Part of that was the fucking film cutting out the big reveal.
What?
That pissed me off to no end.
Which reveal?
In Deathly Hallows, they kept building up to how Dumbledore might not have been as great as everyone made him out to be, and in the books, they had a big sequence near the end where Dumbledore talks about his past and reveals all of this stuff. But they cut out all the fucking reveal in the movie, so there was all this build-up for no goddamn conclusion!
I didn't notice that.
They cut out all the important. They cut out all the reference, all the similarities to the.
Which is funny.
No, wait,
because
no,
they had
just wait,
parts.
just wait.
They had plenty of time.
No, wait for this. Not only did they cut that out, they cut out the contract with Dumbledore. They cut out every bit of similarity to World War II. That was the point behind the 7th book. It was supposed to show the similarities behind how they can also have that dictating leader. Voldemort was supposed to represent a Hitler. The Death Eaters were supposed to be the Nazis, trying to eliminate. I mean, what they were doing was not basic Nazism. The entire thing about they're having to hide in a basement, they're having to hide away from them, so they can go and defeat them in the end. All that was taken. That's why I really loved the radio broadcast. That's what pointed out the similarities. That was the point. You saw the similarities.
It's fucking war.
And you're like, you could tell they wanted to point out this is war. This is deadly war. This is terrible war. This is a war that's good. That they're gonna lose. They think they're gonna lose. Like the Allies are gonna lose. That was the greatest part of the book. Was the similarities. It was the symbolism. It was amazing. That's why I love the 7th book. It's like. And the characters weren't there enough to make me feel bad when they died. Obviously, I felt bad when George died, but when the other characters died, like Lupin, he wasn't in the story enough to me to feel bad.
And the worst
when
part.
Tonks died, I actually hated her more than I liked her. Because she abandoned her own fucking child. At least in the books, she had some redeeming qualities about it.
Yeah.
Because they thought that if she came, they could
Because they had time to develop a character.
Yeah, but there's no character development with these characters that died. It's like Mad-Eye Moody. In the books, I started to cry. I bawled crying when Mad-Eye died because it was so sad. But in the movie, it's just like, oh, no, not at all.
And I think with the Harry Potter films, the worst part isn't what they take out, it's what they add in instead.
Yeah.
Like the fact that they turn the Harry-Voldemort confrontation into this big, drawn-out fight sequence. One, that's bullshit. Two, Harry is the master of the Elder Wand by this point, right? So it can't hurt him. So how is Voldemort managing to fucking hurt him? How is he doing all this shit? The Elder Wand shouldn't be listening to him against its own master. It shouldn't work. And then, I guess I can understand why.
No, it's because he's supposed to, because he did kill him. Harry did die. He did die at the
No,
second
but
time.
point out, it killed, no, technically it just killed a part of Voldemort's soul. It's Dumbledore flat out points out Harry's not dead. And in the book, when they have the final showdown, it specifically says in the writing, but the Elder Wand would not kill its own master. So it shouldn't be able to work on Harry.
Yeah.
The only reason it did anything to him the first time was because he had a bit of Voldemort, so it wasn't just Harry. So it affected the Voldemort bit. It shouldn't affect Harry himself.
Oh, yeah.
But the worst part is that they did that in place of what was supposed to happen. Now I can kind of understand why they cut out the big dialogue scene when Harry...
The point with the ending wasn't to be like, oh, this picture... No, it was supposed to be a final showdown. This is it. All or nothing.
And that was the... I get that... I can understand that I can understand the reasoning anyway.
Yeah.
For why they cut out
Harry Potter
Harry's
Resident
harm. Yep. For why they cut out the bit where Harry explains to Voldemort just why everything's going wrong, why he's about to fail, why Dumbledore's plans have worked out, and why he's about to win. I can get that they might have cut that out because they thought it might not be that exciting for movie audiences, but here's the thing. It is if you set it up right. It is if you, like,
Oh, yeah.
set the mood, if you set the tension. And it's much better than a final beam of war. I'm watching this, I'm like, when did this turn into fucking Dragon Ball Z?
Nope. Movies can't understand subtlety.
It's just like in Half-Blood Prince, they set the burrow on fire. Why? To establish nowhere is safe. Here's the thing, movie. There's this thing. It's called subtlety. And how it works is, you don't necessarily come out and say everything to the audience.
And the funny part is, if they point that out in 7 was supposed to be the part in the books where you realize nowhere is safe. Because the fucking wedding! That was the point behind the wedding, was to show nowhere safe. They don't even say it either. It's when the wedding explodes, the one place that Harry's always felt safe, that was the time he realized that nowhere is safe. And that's why he left.
To be fair,
Because he knew that he couldn't stay any longer.
I'm pretty sure that they started filming on 6 before 7 was
Well,
released.
yeah, but see, and here's the worst part though. I tried thinking before the 7th book came out. Or before, no wait, it was after the 7th, no, yeah, it was before the 7th book and the 7th movie came out. I'm like, okay, I think I've got a reason for why they set the burrow on fire. I thought it was because Bill had not yet appeared in the series. And because Floor had barely gotten any attention, I figured they just cut the fucking money out entirely and use the borough getting burned down as kind of an excuse for that. But then, when it turns out the borough was fully fucking intact, I'm like, no. Just, no, because, look at it this way. If the Death Eaters can find the borough, set it on fire, why didn't they just take Harry then? Why didn't Bellatrix, one of Voldemort's most competent, most loyal freaking lieutenants,
Competence is a strong word.
not think she's very fucking competent?
She
why
is.
Why did she not think,
She's
hey,
insane but competent.
I've lured this little shit who put my boss out of commission the first time, right where I want him, why don't I just knock him the fuck out and bring him to Voldemort?
Yeah, I get that.
It's a scene that wasn't necessary. It made no sense. And in spite of that, we get no character development that was needed in that series. Like Harry and Ginny's relationship build-up. What build-up? They just start making out. No conflict about whether or not Harry should be showing his Sorcerer's Stones to his best friend's sister. No inner turmoil about whether or not he should be thinking that way. No.
And that was a lot of points behind the 5th book was his coming to liking Jenny. He came to realize that he liked Jenny, and there was a lot of turmoil. Like,
You know what the
should
funny
I?
thing is that the whole 6th movie is basically a romance film, right?
And there's no romance!
Exactly, none of that is between Ginny and Harry.
And
It's
another
all-
big subplot, Harry's lessons with Dumbledore about Voldemort pretty much get completely condensed down to
I
the point
know.
where there's barely anything
And
to
that
him.
was so interesting because you got to learn about Voldemort so much.
Voldemort's psychology, it's the greatest wizarding class there is!
Dog!
You're really enjoying that, aren't you?
Cat!
Mouse! Bird! Penis! 7th Force!
Hike!
I don't. It's just like at first the series did very, very well. I think 4 was when it started shifting.
I just watch that at some point. I have the DVD.
The Order of
Goblet
the
of Fire.
Order of the Phoenix. No, 5 Order of the
Order of... No.
Goblet is 4.
Okay, yeah.
Half-Blood Prince is 6, 5 is Order of the Phoenix, yes.
Okay. No, I think it was about 4 or 5 the series took a turn. Because Goblet of Fire was pretty cool. Granted, they kind of shortened down a lot of things, and they do make things kind of short, almost disappointingly short. But it was an interesting story. I mean, it had good moments. The surprises were still there. Voldemort coming to life, that was a fucking out of left field. I mean,
know.
It was one of those
But
things you're like,
you
it
had to
really-
kind of expect it because...
It genuinely got you, and you're like, oh, well, fuck. Well, I actually didn't start reading the books until the 5th movie.
Technically, the 4th book was actually the first one that I owned, but I couldn't get into it because, of course, I hadn't read anything
Oh, yeah.
else. So
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah, no, like...
what the fuck is going
The
on?
first time I read Harry Potter, you know, I'd watched the first movie, right? I'm like, oh, this is great.
Oh,
And so me and my mom went to a bookstore, right? So we head to this bookstore, I see Harry Potter, oh hey, I watched the movie, might as well read the book. So I got the first 2 books, and I started reading them, and they were awesome. I mean, they were just incredible. Like, I'm like, wow, this is so much better than the movie.
And it's just like, you know, I think right Order of the
movies-
Phoenix was a great movie.
Oh yeah, I saw that shit in IMAX 3D.
Oh, it was
fucking
like-
amazing. Blew up my eardrums, but totally worth it.
I mean, the part where Sirius died, I mean, that, I genuinely started to cry. It was heartfelt. It really was heartfelt. I think instead of having sound, having it all mute, and you can see just the emotion on Harry's face, I think that would really set the tone a lot better. But I think that was the last good one. I think that was when the series fell completely.
Oh yeah.
And then 6 came out.
I'm glad.
7 and 8.
And you know, 7 was out of the last 3 films, I think 7 was the best.
Yeah, it was, because it
Oh, yeah.
captured that part of the book the best. But 8 missed the point. It's just like...
The problem is why 7 wasn't as good as it should have been was 6 is the rest of the series didn't build up to what 7 kind of let out.
And
like it didn't build up Mad Eye. It didn't build up a bunch of other characters that were very important. And it's just like it kind of fell flat. You're like, okay, I know this is sad. I know why this is sad from the books.
but I'm not getting it.
But if you just watch the movies themselves, you're just not gonna get it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's terrible just because it's death. But it's
I
not
mean,
terrible
like,
because...
I actually kind of like what the Hunger Games did. The Hunger Games put all the important stuff in there, but there are movies that you'll enjoy the movies if you've read the books. And they've kind of mentioned that. It's like the only reason why these movies are good is because you've read the books. and it's not because there's a lot of internal monologue in the Hunger Games. There's a lot of it. There's a lot of
stuff that they miss because you can't keep that on screen.
Yeah, it's all internal monologue, but they do everything that was out open was all in it, and that's what made it good because you know her internal monologue almost by heart. Almost, you know what she's thinking to herself. So if Harry Potter, I mean, even if they would have done something like that.
Oh Jesus.
What?
212.
Oh, it's not that bad. Well, we're almost there anyways. But he's just collecting about it. It's just like Harry Potter. It's like no, you've already established that you're going to try to bring all the important stuff in. But when the seventh, I mean, I understand that the sixth movie is maybe the seventh book came out, but still at that, you should know what's going to be important, what's going to be important, what's not going to be important.
J.K. Rowling should have told them.
Well,
we're gonna film a burrow scene.
She did tell them about certain things, like she's the reason they still kept Creature in the fifth book.
She told the guy Alan Rickman about Snape's ultimate, fate, which is pretty great.
Fuck this.
Oh, I thought when Snape died, I thought that was one of the most touching moments.
That was sad. I was sobbing all through the
because
rest of
that was the part I read the book before I saw the movie, and in the book,
it's terrible.
It hurts. That's why I say in the series, I think Snape was the greatest hero because he went through hell for one person he loved. And granted, he's like, oh, he's not a hero because he did it all for one person. But that's like saying Mario's not a hero because all he does everything for Princess Peach.
He isn't a hero, though.
I don't think we know enough about Mario.
Yeah, he doesn't have a character.
Mario doesn't have enough of a personality where you can honestly say he's doing it just for Peach. So, I mean, if it is just for Peach, then yeah.
He's doing it for his brother. He's got to provide for him.
But to be fair, I think that just because I think the reasoning behind why a hero does something is absent is if they're doing it in the first place. Heroes don't just have to do things because it's the right thing to do. They're doing it to help people. That's why some heroes in movies aren't. You would like Underworld. Celine. She's not doing it just to be because she's a good person. She's doing it because she's trying to help the guy that she's falling for. And that's the only
Wait, are you a hero if you get paid to do it? You're only doing it for the money. You're not doing it to help anyone.
I'm not saying you can't be a hero if you're doing something for someone else just because it's the right thing to do. But I'm saying it doesn't make you as great a hero as those people who do it just because it's right.
But I think Snape was a great. I think which is why Snape hit great hero was the fact being is that he did all this for Lily, knowing that he was going to die in the end. But he did also mention in the books plenty of times that he knew what we had to do and it was the right thing to do. Because it came to the point where it was both the right thing to do and he had to help. He wanted to do it for Lily because he actually loved Harry, but
he hated him.
He loved him because he knew he was Lily's child, but he also hated him because he was his father.
He basically
there was a lot of internal kind of conflict.
He didn't like Harry.
I don't think he didn't like his personality.
The only thing he liked about Harry was his connection to Lily. So under that logic, you really can't say he loved Harry because he couldn't stand it. Basically. It just so happened he was Lily's kid, and therefore it was important to him. Now I might be oversimplifying it a bit. It might not have been that he out and out hated the kid, but he certainly.
He didn't like him.
I think I read somewhere that it's like it was pointed out it is kind of hard to like a kid who had things turned out differently could have been your kid.
Yeah.
But instead it's a kid of the guy you absolutely fucking hate.
Well, the guy who beat his ass.
Yeah.
And for no reason either.
James was a dick.
It was pointed out by other people that Snape wasn't exactly a saint, but still James was a dick.
Well, people try to argue that it was like James isn't a terrible person. He's not a terrible person. But he's not a bad person for doing that. It was something that people were trying to explain that he was doing it because like Snape was a jerk. I'm like, well, yeah, Snape wasn't the nicest guy in the world, but he didn't deserve to be beaten the way he was beaten by him.
It's a complex rivalry. The key point is that we are only seeing this one scene relatively out of context. And, well, it does paint Snape in a much more sympathetic light to the point where Harry himself starts considering, Jesus Christ, my dad was a dick. The whole point is, that's the only bit of it we see.
Yeah.
And this is in, their 5th year? So, this is a rivalry that's been escalating for 5 years. So, for all
I don't think you can just justify what James did, though.
It's like if...
Oh, I'm just saying
You can't just say that's a good thing.
I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm just saying it's not as terrible as everybody not everybody, but as the, blatant Snape lovers / James haters make it out to be.
Yeah.
James lovers /
Snape haters. I I thought James was alright, and I thought, you know, but it does mention in the books he gets better through time.
Yeah.
But that was the one point that I'm just like, yeah, Snape isn't a bad guy. If anything, he deserved Lily more than anybody else because he loved her the most.
Oh, no doubt.
And he was the only person in her childhood that was there for her. And he's even pointed out that he was there for her during her childhood when her sister hated her.
Well,
Then again,
considering Lily and her personality, I find it very hard to believe that she didn't have friends.
Yeah.
So it's more like Lily was the
granted-
only one who was there for Snape.
Yeah. Granted, then again, you don't know if she went to school at the time or not.
She was 10, pretty sure.
Yeah, but you don't really know. Was she homeschooled? Was she not homeschooled? There's questions that you aren't answered. I think they were. I actually thought they were. I do think they were homeschooled, mainly because just how Petunia acts around people she doesn't know. It just seems like she's one of those.
Oh, come on. There are plenty of people who weren't homeschooled who act like a bitch to people that they don't understand.
Not even that. It's just like she has the problem. Like she doesn't understand anyone. I don't know. Maybe I think that's just me.
I love how the Dursleys don't even get like a good goodbye scene. Like,
yeah,
just Dudley.
The great part is it's a deleted scene. There's a deleted scene with
in the film,
with Dudley refusing to leave without Harry.
Yeah, see that
was
was a great scene in the book. And
but no, they cut it out completely.
It even added some complexity to Petunia because Rowling confirmed in like an interview or something that when Petunia was walking away and she acted like she wanted to say something, Rowling said she felt that what Petunia wanted to say was something along the lines of good luck, but she just couldn't bring herself to do it because she just resented Lily that much. And it's actually kind of sad.
I think.
I mean, the only one who doesn't have any sort of redeeming features is Vernon. He's just a total fucking asshole.
I mean, he might have had kind of a like kind of weird backstory, but he's just an asshole. He's just an asshole. He's an asshole. He's a complete.
And that's why I hate him, but I also kind of like him because it's like, especially when Dudley and Petunia get some redemption, it's nice to see that one of the Dursleys is still just out and out. Like, I like how it's described in the book when it says he goes to shake Harry's hand but can't bring himself to finish it, and just goes kind of like,
puts it in his pocket.
just kind of
What happened?
It's kind of cool with it's explained in Pottermore with her like she adds more to the story.
Yeah.
This house is dangerous. There are terrible demons.
They send each other
yeah,
a
they're
postcard.
still on Christmas card terms, and they
You're
visit
wounded.
every once in a while.
What kind of
And
demon
it's very
attacked
Harry
you?
and Dudley.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
It
And the
was a
kids play with
huge
each other while the
snake,
adults just kind of sit there.
and also poisonous.
Just sit there all
Vernon breaks the couch.
Vernon wouldn't be living with them anymore.
Richard,
Dudley's gonna get
hold
out.
on.
Vernon had a heart disease.
I
There
just
is
like
serum.
He ate too many hamburgers.
I like this. I just
Oh,
like
no.
the book where he
I
got
should
a
have
block
brought
for
some
Harry
with
and
me.
said, I'm not going without him.
Or
No
at least
problem.
He
I'll go
expresses
and
some
get it.
concern and actually
Thanks.
acknowledges the fact that, like, I like the fact that Dudley isn't all of a sudden made into a completely sympathetic character, but it's shown he's not a total dick. Like, even if it is 2 years after the fact, he acknowledges that, yeah, Harry saved his fucking bacon, and he...
Bacon.
And I
He almost got turned into a pig.
I like how...
Hagrid would have turned him into a pig.
I like
That was good, right?
It was entirely on accident was the even better part. But I like how Petunia starts going on about what a great kid Dudley is for saying thank you, and that one chick points out he hasn't said thank you at all. All he's done is point out the fact that Harry saved his life. And Harry goes, yeah, but it's Dudley. I'll take what I can get, or something like that.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, but from Dudley, that's practically an I love you.
I don't know. I honestly I hated Dudley at first, but I think that part where he just like he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave Harry. I'm like that's pretty touching.
Yeah.
That shows he has respect for Harry, and he does care for him.
And it's actually great because someone asked Rowling what horrible memories Dudley could have possibly had, and Rowling says, I don't think it's so much he got a bad memory so much as he was shown for what he really was. And I'm like, oh my fucking god, that's
brilliant.
that's fucking brilliant. Because
Fuck,
for
what am I
someone
supposed to be doing? Serum. Yes, serum.
for someone as completely pampered as Dudley, that's just great.
So explain it in here.
Basically, the Dementors, like, you know how Dementors usually force someone to relive their worst memories?
Yeah.
Correct.
For someone as
yeah,
pampered as Dudley, it just made him see himself for the giant bully asshole he is.
Yeah.
That's really fucking clever.
Because that
Aragon 4.
I think because that makes sense because that's when
The ending. Oh, we're gonna make Galbatorix
Okay, you know what?
feel all the
You know
pain
what?
he
You know what?
inflicted
I
on people.
actually don't mind that so much as I mind the rest of the fucking ending.
Yeah. Oh, I have to go away.
Forever.
But I'm gonna remember it's like, I think that was the moment. That wasn't the moment, even in the books, that he started changing from less of a dick and more understanding.
Yeah, in part because, but I like how it's subtle. It's like he's barely referenced it all, so you don't really see how much it's affected him. So it's good. It's good. It works.
That entire year, he won. There should be J.K.
love
Rowling
Rowling.
should write like a second story that just stars Dudley.
I love Rowling. I really do. She writes some great books.
Oh yeah.
I heard she has a new book out that I think my mom has. I'm hoping
It's an adult book. It's something about court.
It's the Harry Potter porno script.
No, guys. It's a more adult book because supposedly it's something about like the court system in Britain.
Yes.
And some prisoner guy.
Yeah.
Very British. It's almost too British, honestly.
So once we get to the part where we were before, should we like make sure it actually has been going?
Yeah. So that's why I have this on right now.
Yep.
But no, Rowling, she's brilliant. She's
Yeah.
a good storyteller.
And I like
For
how
a minute, I thought you were gonna call her.
everything,
She can't be, man. Those books are evil at times.
almost everything cycles back around. Like even the fucking thing that Dumbledore uses to put out the lights at the very
It's the
beginning
plot
of the
point.
first fucking book ends up becoming relevant. I'm just like,
That was important.
she is the fucking Oda of children's literature.
Oda.
The guy who wrote One Piece. Oda never forgets.
He
He
does
never
it.
forgets anything.
He even now he's references things from the original from first off.
Way back.
Yeah, he's really good about that, and that's what makes a good story. Is if everything in the past has an effect in the future.
Yep. Even fucking
Here's
Sky
the
P
serum.
ended up becoming useful.
Richard, hold on.
I mean,
I'll give
even
you a
if-
shot now.
Whistling into the mic.
Don't do that. It
Jill,
hurts. It hurts when I'm
here's my radio.
Stop
You
doing
should
that.
keep
I'll
it.
kill you.
Future me
I'm
will find you and
kill
fucking kill you. Future me's a dick.
No! Richard!
No, Milan.
Poor Richard.
Jill. Be careful.
Are you okay?
Oh my god. He's dead.
Oh my god, they killed Richard! You bastards!
No, Frank. I thought his name was Carlos.
His name's Richard. He's
Who
not
the
even
fuck is
Hispanic.
Carlos?
He's Carlos is in the third game.
Yeah.
He's not even Hispanic at all. This guy Richard, even though he
I
has
thought
a
his name was
Spanish accent.
Carlos.
His name was Carlos.
But no. I mean, I like Peter Jackson is the same thing as J.K. Rowling when it comes to referencing things in the past.
Wait,
but
don't
I
you
think-
mean Tolkien?
I think Peter Jackson.
Yeah, Peter Jackson's a filmmaker.
Peter Jackson's the guy who made the movies.
Not Peter Jackson. I'm sorry.
Tolkien.
Not Tolkien. I meant to say, God, what's his name?
C.S. Lewis.
The guy who wrote, Olympus, Peter Jackson series.
Rick Riordan.
Rick Roll? Yeah, Rick Roll. Rick Riordan. I can't pronounce his name.
Never gonna give you up.
Never gonna let you down.
Never
Holy
gonna
shit,
run
a
around.
giant.
Alright, but, no,
Now see, we could never get Speedy going on doing that.
oh no. He has that sticks juice jumped up. Juice too far from his ass. Oh, dude, you're
Hope
fucked.
you saved.
Yeah, right? Yes. How many shots?
All the shots. He's not dead. You're dead.
But, back to what I was saying. I think the guy who wrote this book, I think he's good at, like, bringing things back in the past, but I think it's the only
Can we
series...
set up the save state thing? Cause this is gonna take a while if I have to keep loading on the menu.
I think he's got a point. I mean, granted, that's only if we keep dying, but it might come in handy for...
Get up! I don't know how to do this, I had to figure it out. I was trying to do it the other day, trying to figure out how to use it. I just decided not to do it, so...
Another productive day.
Well, there's only 20 minutes of edit. So there's only 20 minutes of video after this.
Are we
Anyways.
still recording, or...?
Yeah, I'll start off.